Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Ominous Orchestra. Once, in a small town nestled between ancient hills and forgotten forests, there stood an old concert hall, its grandeur fading with the passage of time. Rumors whispered through the cobwebbed corridors of a symphony that, when played, could open a portal to the afterlife. The dance people spoke in hushed tones of the Ominous Orchestra, a group of musicians who dared to perform this forbidden composition. One moon at night, 5 musicians gathered in the dilapidated concert hall. Each carried an instrument as ancient as the symphony itself: a cello, a violin, a flute, a trumpet, and a timpani. The atmosphere crackled with an unsettling energy as they took their positions on the worn-out stage. The ancient symphony began, and the haunting melodies echoed through the hall, resonating with the very foundations of the building. As the musicians played, the air shimmered, and the veil between the living and the dead began to thin. Spectral beings emerged from the shadows, drawn by the eerie music, their ethereal forms swelling in a macabre dance. The musicians, unaware of the otherworldly realm they had unleashed, continued to play with a fervor that transcended the natural. The concert hall seemed to breathe with a life of its own, the walls pulsating with an ominous energy. As the last notes of the symphony echoed through the hall, the portal to the afterlife burst open. A cold wind swept through, carrying with it the whispers of long-forgotten souls. The musicians, now trapped in a realm between the living and the dead, found themselves surrounded by a landscape that defied all logic. The spectral beings, once mere shadows, materialized into ghastly figures. Some wore tattered garments from bygone eras, while others had faces twisted into expressions of eternal anguish. The ominous orchestra stood frozen, the instrument still in hand, as the otherworldly entities closed in. A figure clad in a black, flowing robe emerged from the crowd of spirits, the conductor of this unearthly symphony. With a skeletal hand, the conductor signaled for the musicians to follow. They walked through the shadowy landscape, guided by the mournful wails and distant whispers of the afterlife. The musicians soon realized they were not alone in this spectral realm. Faces from their past, long forgotten, materialized to confront them. Regrets and sins manifested as tangible entities, each demanding retribution. The haunting melodies of the symphony had not only opened a portal to the afterlife, but also unveiled the musicians' deepest fears and darkest secrets. As the ominous orchestra traversed the otherworldly realm, their instruments took on a life of their own, playing dissonant tunes that mirrored the chaos surrounding them. The conductor led them deeper into the abyss, where the boundary between reality and nightmare blurred. With each step, the musicians faced increasingly malevolent manifestations of their own guilt. Shadows whispered accusations, and phantoms of their past sins clawed at their conscience. The line between tormentors and tormented blurred, and the ominous orchestra began to question whether the afterlife they had unleashed was a punishment or a reflection of their own haunted souls. Time lost its meaning as the musicians wandered through the surreal landscape. The symphony that had once beckoned spirits now resonated with the tortured cries of the ominous orchestra. The veil between the realms began to close, threatening to trap them in this nightmarish dimension forever. In a final, desperate act, the musicians played the ancient symphony in reverse, hoping to undo the portal they had opened. As the inverted notes filled the air, the spectral beings convulsed, their forms dissipating into the shadows. The landscape shifted and contorted, folding back into the fabric of reality. The ominous orchestra found themselves back on the stage of the old concert hall, the instruments now silent in their hands. The haunted echoes of the symphony lingered in the air as a reminder of the horrors they had faced. The musicians, forever changed by their journey through the afterlife, departed the concert hall, leaving behind the echoes of a melody that would haunt the town for generations to come. As the musicians stumbled out of the concert hall, the town that had once seemed familiar now felt alien and unwelcoming. The moon cast long shadows, and the air carried an unsettling stillness. They exchanged uneasy glances, haunted by the memories of the spectral realm they had inadvertently unleashed. The townspeople, ignorant of the horrors that had transpired within the concert hall, greeted the musicians with applause and adulation. Little did they know that the echoes of the afterlife lingered in the air, subtly influencing the atmosphere of the town. Night after night, the Ominous Orchestra found themselves drawn back to the concert hall, as if an invisible force compelled them to revisit the scene of their supernatural ordeal. Each time they entered, the air grew thick with the residual energy of the otherworldly symphony. They could hear faint whispers and see fleeting shadows, reminders of the spectral beings that had once surrounded them. The haunted musicians struggled to maintain their grip on reality as the boundary between the living and the dead continued to blur. Nightmares plagued their sleep, and the line between their performances and the afterlife became increasingly indistinct. The symphony that had initially captivated them with its eerie beauty now tormented them, a constant reminder of the horrors they had unleashed. As the days passed, the town itself seemed to wither under the influence of the Ominous Orchestra. Crops failed, and the once vibrant streets became deserted. The townspeople, unknowingly affected by the lingering supernatural energy, succumbed to a growing sense of despair. One by one, the musicians began to experience strange occurrences. The cello would play on its own in the dead of night, the violin emitted mournful notes without being touched, and the trumpet echoed with ghostly melodies. The instruments seemed possessed by the lingering spirits of the afterlife, yearning for release. Desperation drove the Ominous Orchestra to seek answers. They delved into an ancient text and consulted mystics who spoke of a ritual that could sever the connection between the living and the dead. The musicians, now more like ghostly apparitions themselves, gathered one final time in the haunted concert hall. As they played a counter-symphony, a cacophony of discordant notes meant to disrupt the lingering energies, the air crackled with an otherworldly energy. Shadows writhed and contorted, and the symphony of despair slowly dissolved into dissonance. In the climax of their performance, the musicians felt a surge of energy that seemed to tear through the fabric of reality. The afterlife, once again, beckoned, but this time it seemed to draw in the remnants of the spectral realm. The musicians, determined to end the curse they had unleashed, played with an intensity that transcended the boundaries of mortal comprehension. The concert hall trembled as the portal to the afterlife collapsed in on itself. The musicians, their instruments now silent, stood amid the dissipating shadows. The haunted echoes of the symphony faded, leaving the concert hall in an eerie silence. As the musicians stepped out into the moonlit night, they were met with a changed town. The air felt lighter, and the once diminished streets began to show signs of life. The curse that had plagued the Ominous Orchestra and the town seemed to have lifted. The musicians, forever scarred by their journey through the afterlife, parted ways, vowing never to play the forbidden symphony again. The concert hall, once a haven for spectral beings and tormented souls, stood silent and empty, a testament to the price paid for meddling with the forces that lie beyond the veil of the living. The Ominous Orchestra's tale became a cautionary legend, whispered among the townspeople, ensuring that the haunting melodies of their forbidden symphony would never be played again. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.